Hello to the side and back. Welcome back to my channel. I am your host Tokika Uzuru, and I will be redoing a video that I did like last year because one, I didn't have a video idea. Two, I just watched it like not too long ago and I am cringing at my own work. This is a green tea latte, by the way. We've gone back to doing that. I went back and watched one of my videos where I was talking about my hair history, but it was more like a brief synopsis of my hair history and then how I got to having colored hair. Colored as in color treated or bleached and dyed hair. And at the end of the video, I did say that I wanted to go ahead and make a more in-depth video on my hair history. So first of all, I am wearing a hat I haven't worn in a while because I haven't really learned how to properly wear it, having longer hair. Originally when I got this hat, my hair was not even past my chin, so I didn't have to worry about styling my hair. I just made sure that I had the bangs that I usually did and just put the hat on. But now I have to put most of my hair into a ponytail. I still do the bangs thing, it's just that I now have to maneuver it around. No one said that the long-haired game was easy, but I decided to go ahead and walk that route, and I completely regret it, but will also completely regret cutting it, so we're stuck with one problem. I decided that it would be a good idea to do a more in-depth, maybe multi-part hair talk on my history with my hair. So I have written down a few things that I would like to go ahead and put in part one, and I will organize it accordingly. Part one is before I got my stuff together, basically before I started actually taking care of my hair and making sure that it grew. This was when my main focus was my hair health. And if I saw that it was growing, it would mean that I'm doing the right thing and that my hair is being healthy. So we start off with the fact that I don't remember when my first relaxer or just for me relaxing kit. I don't remember when I got my first one. I can ask my mom, and if I do end up asking my mom, I will put the answer right over here to go ahead and tell you exactly when that happened, because maybe she remembers. I know I don't. And while I was little and I wasn't the one doing my hair, I still had certain rules that I put in place because I actually did care about my hair. It would bring me joy to see that my hair looked nice or the way that I wanted it. So my rules as a young child, I might add, were as follows. 1, my mom was the only one that was putting relaxers in my head. I didn't really trust many people to go ahead and put chemicals in my hair, even back then. So whenever my hair had to go ahead and get relaxed, my mom was the one that did it. 2, no heat style curls. I know my hair is naturally curly and it likes to hug on each other. But this was while my hair was relaxed and it didn't have the curl to go ahead and be in it. So my second rule was no heat style curls because I knew they wouldn't last long with me. And my third rule that I had was that I had a say in who did my hair. Basically, yes, this person is able to do my hair. No, I do not trust them with my hair. But because of the fact that I personally did not care at that moment who did my hair, most of the time I said yes. And then it was around maybe 3rd or 4th grade. The rules were still in place, but I had more say in how my hair was styled. And because of the fact that my hair grew like weeds, I will always end up having to deal with what we would call in what we would call in the relaxed hair community new growth. So back when my mom had time and only had 2 kids to go ahead and deal with, she would go ahead and do our relaxers maybe like 2 or 3 times a year. Now, of course, you may have seen my sister. We're calling her Alice because that's what she is on YouTube. And her hair is still different from mine, but her hair was like way different from mine. Her hair was relatively thin, so it took to regular relaxers. My hair was apparently like my mom's hair, very thick and very stubborn. So when my mom had to go ahead and relax my hair, she would have to get the super until my hair just said, absolutely not, we're not working with the kitty perms or the kitty relaxers. So when she would go over to the stronger, more adult relaxers, she started off using regular, but then she had to go ahead and go with like the more coarse strands because my hair was like hers. And in between getting relaxers, my sister would just have to go ahead and like wet her hair, and then it would be like slick to where she can go ahead and she didn't have to do much. My hair, absolutely not. First, I gotta wet it, then I gotta go ahead and brush it. Put gel on it just to make sure that it stays that way. And then also make sure that it's tight enough to where it's laying flat, but not tight where it's literally giving me a facelift. I feel like she was the lucky one in that situation because there was so much. And then my hair also grew so much. So I always end up having stubborn new growth, and I always end up having to deal with the 2 textures, and I got irritated. And as I grew older, as time went on, I started hating the fact that my hair was so stubborn to where I just didn't want to deal with it. So I went down to only washing my hair about maybe once a month. I didn't really style my hair. If at all, I would just put it into a ponytail, into a floof, and just not deal with it because again, it was stubborn, and the only time my hair was done was if someone else did it. Because, no, as I got older, I had to go ahead and deal with more work that I had to do, either at school or at home. And so I just neglected my hair completely. I still washed it from time to time, but it wasn't as often as I probably needed it to. I got to a point where I just didn't want to go ahead and deal with my hair, and I started putting my hair up into like little knot ponytails or little buns at the top of my head, so I can go ahead and put like a ponytail piece on and just not have to deal with my hair. But then there was a thing that happened that made me not want to wear ponytail pieces anymore, so I literally went through an entire time of just having my hair as a floof ball, but like a weird straight floof ball. The family joke was that I had a natural bump it, when in reality it was just literally my new growth being floofy. Then it got worse as I went on into 8th grade, or when I was 13 and I went back to wearing ponytail pieces because it was like, oh, I still had to look presentable for my school because they would take pictures randomly. And you always have to go ahead and make sure you look presentable, because even though they would go ahead and warn you when they're taking pictures, but they wouldn't warn you until the day of. But eventually I started slowly getting into wearing wigs, which made me neglect my hair even more. Now I'm not even putting it into a ponytail because it's so short that I can just put on a wig and just be. So now we get to the point where it's summer of 2014 and we're moving up to Georgia because that's what my mom wanted to do. And as much as I wanted to go ahead and wear wigs, I knew I couldn't just keep them on. And I also knew that I had to go ahead and take better care of my hair because it was getting so short. I was irritated. I couldn't just go ahead and be like, hey, can you go ahead and do my hair? Because other people have other things to do, and I was getting into my head like I am right now. So I started trying to do my hair every week, and here's how that would go. I would make sure that I washed it. I would condition it. I would make sure that I have some sort of hair lotion. Most of the time I got it from the dollar store. It still worked for my hair, surprisingly. I would go ahead and blow dry it, and then I would style it, or basically flat iron or straighten it. And then I would go ahead and put on this hat whenever I went to school because I felt like it made me feel protected from people seeing the back of my head, apparently. And so started my recovery from neglecting my hair as I was learning how to deal with the stubbornness that is my floof. And now that I've talked about that history of my hair, I will now be able to name my hair Floof because that will be its name. My hair's name is Floof. You're probably wondering, why am I making this video? I ended up watching a video prior to me watching my own video on my hair history. And it had me thinking about actually accepting the Queen Floof as she is. Because she is my head of hair. She has been through a lot. My reasoning for making this video is to put my hair story out there, make it known that I struggled a lot with actually accepting my hair for what it was. And I would like to go ahead and suggest that you too accept your head of hair for whatever stage it is in. Yes, as I accept my floof, I encourage you to accept whatever type of hair you have. Give it some love, some tender love and care. Introduce your hair to yourself. Accept your hair at any stage. Learn how to work with it, especially for my naturalistas or my people of color who have been told several times by society itself that their hair, their natural hair, is not the standard of beauty. I feel like I've done this video justice. I feel like I've done justice because I originally did not have a video planned out for this week because of all of the things that were happening last week. I hope this video was very informational. Maybe it had you thinking about what your hair history is. I know I was personally thinking about this when I was watching someone else's video. I might just go ahead and have hers linked up in the cards because that specific video had me thinking a lot about how I dealt with my hair and why I'm so irritated with it whenever I have to go ahead and deal with it. It's time for me to do the stereotypical YouTuber outro. So, stereotypical YouTuber outro. If you like this video, of course, go ahead and press the like button. If you want to know more about health in general, because physical, emotional, and mental or psychological health is as important, if not more important, than spiritual health. They all go hand in hand. They're all as important as each other, and we should be treating it as such. Go ahead and click the subscribe button if you want to go ahead and see more videos about health in general, religion, mystical or fantasy related topics, or if you just want to go ahead and see what I post next. And if you want to get notified for when I go ahead and post, although I try my best to post at the exact same time, go ahead and click the notification bell and turn it to all notifications, because that is actually very important apparently. And I hope you have a wonderful day, week, month, year, life. And I think that's it. So, for now, this is Toki signing off.